Hey everybody, it's Delicia here, checking in with a pretty informal coffee talk. I haven't done one in a little while. So obviously we're all kind of facing the same crazy stuff that's going on in the world. The whole coronavirus scare and the quarantines that are happening. And if you're in the state of California, and again, I'm kind of ignorant to the whole what's happening in each state or each country. I just know some of the bigger ones that have gone on. But I mean, we've been recently issued a stay-at-home, somewhat of a lockdown, I guess you could call it, here in California. But it's definitely affecting a lot of us in different ways. So I thought I would try to lighten the mood by, obviously not ignoring it and addressing it, but trying to lighten things up with a semi-pairing, just kind of chit chat. And it's easier to do these little coffee talks if I knew how to do a live thing where I could have, I've done a couple live ones on Instagram, but people chime the comments in really fast. But it'd be cool to actually do one where you guys could join, almost like a Facebook or a FaceTime chat of some sort, where I could actually get some questions that come in and address them that way. So what I'm gonna do is, I did it on the last one, which it's been a little while since I put one up, but with the coffee talk, I did ask you guys to post some questions so that when I do it again, I have those questions to go off of, which is helpful for me, just because if not, I'll tend to ramble on. And I don't wanna make this whole video about coronavirus, but obviously, it's like the big pink elephant in the room with everyone. We're just seeing constantly, almost every day now, different businesses that are getting affected. We're getting emails from, just in the cigar side of things, different events that are getting postponed, different factory, or rather manufacturers that are saying, hey, as of now, our factories are still up and running, but you just never know. There's all these different things that are happening. So on a lighter note, I'm actually pairing, having this nice McAuliffe Grande Bold Maduro. And I got a little bored with my, just kind of being on this little home, I don't know what you want to call it, quarantine, lockdown, stay at home, whatever it is. So I brewed a cappuccino. Well, I brewed an espresso, made it a cappuccino, but I used, I don't do dairy. Sorry, I couldn't say that. I don't do dairy. So I have soy milks and things like that. So I actually have a soy vanilla. And so I frothed my soy vanilla stuff to make this, I don't know if it still qualifies as a cappuccino if I'm doing that, but whatever. I did a double shot of espresso, and then I frothed that fun stuff, which is a treat for me because I normally just drink my coffee black, but this is fun. I actually used the my Tassa's Jefe blend. And just on a side note, because I'm not one of those businesses that send out formal emails to people saying, hey, everything's up and running, which maybe I should have done that, but yeah, I didn't. But just so you know, in case you're curious, Tassa's coffee is still up and running. Yeah, I actually fulfill them. I personally do it, and I'm a germaphobe already on a good day. I'm super clean with everything. So that's kind of just if you're wondering or you're curious about it, I actually do that. I have a very trusted source that roasts beans for me. And they're a smaller operation, which they don't have a lot of people in there. They're very clean. That's one of the things that, again, even without all this crazy stuff going on, I'm super big on that. I'm a germaphobe, so I pass that cleanliness on to the rest of you who order coffee. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with that. So I did my Jefe blend. I did a double shot espresso. And then I did my little soy vanilla, which was, it added a nice sweetness to it. So with this Maduro, the Grande Bold Maduro, it's great stick, very flavorful, especially if you're a Maduro fan. It has a really nice richness to it overall. You get the notes of the dark chocolate, but you also get a sweetness, almost a kind of like a caramelized sugar is what it reminds me of. So now drinking it with this cappuccino that has that kind of vanilla hint to it, it's really nice. You're kind of getting this mixture of flavors, but they're all working very well together. And it's almost like a nice afternoon little mini dessert, if you will. So again, loving this Grande Bold Maduro. If you're not part of the McAuliffe brand ambassador program, there's no time like the present to join. I mean, it's definitely something that we all have, most of us have extra time on our hands being, if you're, again, depending on what part of the world you're in, if you are in a self-quarantine, if you are working from home, if your business has been temporarily shut down. I mean, it's so unfortunate for so many people that, not to mention just this crazy unknown virus that's floating around. Hopefully my thoughts and prayers are going out to all of you who are directly affected by that. If you're ill, if you have a loved one that's ill, or worse, hopefully not. But yeah, it's crazy to see all these things happening. Again, being in California, this is going on the second week now of trying to go into stores which are just completely bare. It's so weird. It's like a very end of the world type of like weirdness, where it just seems like almost something that you'd read in a book of like, this is bizarre to walk in and like everything is stripped down. There's a line every morning to get into, I've tried to go into, Sam's Club, even Albertsons, Target, Trader Joe's, all of those like Roots, Barron's, they all have lines in the beginning, in the morning just to come in. And now, it started with the whole limit of 10 people or less in certain places. I know the banks are changing, how many people they're letting in at a time. Schools obviously have been shut down for a while, and that keeps getting extended. Churches, my church got shut down. I'm super bummed. I've actually visited the mission in San Diego yesterday because that's still open, not for mass or anything, but just to go in. I mean, it's so weird to kind of do, home mass, if you will, or like live stream. My church is doing like a live stream. So I don't know how many of you are being affected by that, but it's just really, really strange and kind of eerie. And yeah, so I'm not a fan of the whole doom and gloom thing. I just, trying to keep the spirits up, keep somewhat of a normalcy to, hey, let's keep smoking our cigars and pairing it with really nice things. Again, afternoon pairing, coffee for me. As the day gets on, definitely if you have spirits on hand, that helps. But yeah, it's crazy. Another thing that, so for me personally, again, I don't really get into too much of my personal life other than my love of cigars. That's very personal to me. But yeah, so I normally, my day, I actually, aside from going to Sunday Mass, I try to go to daily Mass whenever I can. But so that's obviously been shut down recently this past week. And then aside from that, I also go to the gym in the morning, like 5 to 6 days a week I go to the gym. So that has been shut down, and that is just such a bummer because it's like, it's just crazy. It's like I don't know, I've had to switch up things, and now I'm going running in the mornings and then trying to do like home workouts, which are just never the same as actually being at the gym and doing classes or, the different weights that they have. So again, talking to myself here, but I know all of you are feeling this in one way or another. Again, it's like depressing to check the emails right now because you're just getting email after email of different businesses that are temporarily shutting down. It's like really bizarre to be out there driving, and the traffic is very light. It's an emptiness all over the place, and it's just really weird. So again, just kind of chiming in to see what you guys are up to, how you've been affected by this directly, what's going on in your particular neck of the woods. I've shared some of mine here in Southern California. As again, I mentioned, if you're not already aware, just most people watch the news, but yeah, we've been issued this stay at home directive basically from the governor saying like, if you don't need to be out, unless it's like a need to be situation, just stay home and limit the gatherings and all that stuff. So it's just really weird. I have a good set of friends, so we've done a couple FaceTime wine chats. That's helpful. So again, curious with what all of you are doing. Are you guys doing like online herbs? Are you doing, are you FaceTiming and, lighting up your cigar and whiskey? It keeps things interesting, and it's definitely an opportunity to be creative. And then once again, like appreciative when you do get all the normalcy back somewhat. I mean, it's weird. I also, obviously everybody, is affected by the economy. So if you have, if you're heavily invested in the stock market, there's been some major hits, which I'm a believer that those things will come back, hopefully fairly quickly, but you know, it's still just unsettling. But yeah, I mean, seeing people walking around with masks and the gloves, and it's just really, really crazy. So yeah, just thought I'd check in and just say, hey, you know, hope you guys are hanging in there well. And my advice is that we still continue these wonderful things that we have. This is a great time to be part of like online cigar clubs. I'm a huge fan of Privada Cigar Club. They deliver to your door. They're still up and running, and yeah, that's basically how we're doing things. And you know, stay part of the community, even if it's just from home, online. You know, checking in on the different social media platforms. It kind of keeps your sanity a little bit when we're all in this situation of just being kind of homebound. Or, you know, my heart goes out to those people that don't have a home. I mean, it just breaks my heart to see it right now, especially always, but especially right now in these different times that we're dealing with. So yeah, just wanted to check in and say hey to everybody. You know, if you happen to have these nice little Grande Bowl Maduros in your humidor, light up, enjoy your day. You know, brew a nice cup of coffee with it, perhaps if it's still early in the day, or save it for tomorrow. But yeah, just hang in there. Cheers to all of you. And again, my thoughts and prayers for those of you who are being directly affected by this. But yes, have a good one, and we'll chat soon. Cheers.